I think the 5 a day might need updating just a little bit, Think this is healthy? Well, get ready to change your mind. Now, fruit juice is sold under the illusion of a healthy product and is actually promoted as one of our 5 a day. But actually, research has shown that fruit juice consumption is associated with type 2 diabetes and obesity. One of the issues with fruit juice comes down to the processing itself, which essentially removes all of the fiber, which helps to slow down sugar into the bloodstream, and leaves you with only sugar in a concentrated form. So when we drink the juice, those sugars are rapidly digested into our bloodstream, causing a large spike in our blood sugar levels. Now, this doesn't mean you can never drink fruit juice again. It can still be consumed as part of a healthy, balanced diet, of course. But what we're going to do in this video is going to break down the science of fruit juice, how it's digested by the body, how you might respond to it, and then you can make a more informed decision about your drinking habits in the future. Hey everyone, it's Robbie again. I'm a registered nutritionist here at Second Nature, and today we're busting the myth that fruit juice is a healthy choice to help you get to your 5 a day. Well, the main problem is the processing itself. When we process foods, in this case fruit, we change the biochemical structure of the product and it changes how our body responds to it. While whole fruit contains fiber and its sugars are tightly bound together, making it harder for our gut to digest, fruit juice primarily contains free sugars, which are rapidly digested through the gut, causing a large spike in our blood sugar levels. There's also no fiber in fruit juice to slow down that release of the sugars as well. Fructose is another simple sugar, like glucose, that you can find in fruit juice. Now, the difference with fructose and one of the issues is the way it's managed and digested by the body. Now, both fructose and glucose make their way through the gut into the bloodstream, but whereas glucose is taken up by many cells in the body, from the central nervous system, the muscles, the brain for energy, fructose has to be managed by the liver. Now, in excess, this can provide a big problem for the liver as it struggles to deal with all the excess fructose. It can convert it into fat and pump it out into the bloodstream. Not a good thing. It can also lead to insulin resistance within the liver, as this is one of the leading causes of type 2 diabetes. So we talked earlier about the issue with free sugars and how quickly they can be digested. Well, another issue is the sheer concentration of sugar held within fruit juice. Let's use a practical example. When you eat one whole orange, it will contain around 2 teaspoons of sugar. But you'll also be eating it a bit more slowly, it's got more fiber, and because the sugars are bound together within the fruit, it makes them a bit more challenging to digest in the gut, which means the sugars will be digested slowly and released into the bloodstream gradually, and you shouldn't see a large spike in blood sugar levels. However, if we compare this to a small glass of orange juice, say around 250 milliliters, this will contain around 3 oranges, so around 6 teaspoons of table sugar. Now, this will also not have any fiber, and it's quite likely you'll drink that quite quickly, which means that the rate of sugar digestion will be really quick, but also the amount that your body's having to digest will cause problems down the line. It can spike your blood sugar, and if you do this excessively over and over and over again, this can be one of the things that can lead to type 2 diabetes, insulin resistance, and other chronic health conditions down the line. So what about the good things in fruit juice? Well, it's true there's still going to be high concentrated levels of other vitamins and minerals and phytochemicals that could be really beneficial for our health. And in the context of a healthy, balanced diet, including some fruit juice in your diet probably won't be the worst thing. And there is some research to suggest that if you are going to consume sugary beverages regularly, fruit juice is probably the better option compared to, say, something like Coca-Cola or other sugar-sweetened beverages. However, this is where context in nutrition is really important. So is fruit juice healthier for you than ultra-processed sugar-sweetened beverages like Coca-Cola, Pepsi, etc.? Probably yes. But does that mean that fruit juice is a healthy option compared to, say, consuming whole fruit and making water your drink of choice? Probably not. And if we were to weigh up all the pros and cons of fruit juice, we'd probably say that the negative impact it can potentially have on our liver and levels of insulin resistance in the body probably outweighs the potential benefits of fruit juice, such as a high content of vitamin C. So what should you be drinking regularly? Well, we'd recommend water as your drink of choice. You can also make water more interesting by making cocktails or naturally flavored water. We've got some links in the description to some recipes if you'd like to give them a try. You can also drink hot drinks like coffee, tea, herbal teas, even hot chocolate made of real cocoa if you like. And you can also drink milk. Milk is rich in protein, fat, vitamin B12, calcium, and a lot more, and it's low in free sugars. So while fruit juice might be a bit healthier for you than, say, Coca-Cola or Pepsi, it's probably not something you should be consuming on the regular. Now, we'd recommend swapping in water, tea, coffee, milk, or naturally flavored waters instead. This isn't to say you shouldn't consume fruit juice ever again. It's just about finding a balance that works for you, your health goals, and your lifestyle. Okay, everyone, that's all from me today. If you enjoyed what we put together, please like, comment, share, and subscribe. See you next time.